guys, it's Allison here from The Love of Polish, and I just wanted to make a video for you guys telling you a little bit more about myself and how I got into nail art and my love of polish, and answer some questions that I had been getting from you guys on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, hopefully this helps you get to know me a little better and answer some questions for you. So the first thing I wanted to do is tell you a little bit about me. My name is Allison and I live in southern Wisconsin. I've lived in Wisconsin pretty much my entire life. I used to live way up north and then moved to southern Wisconsin when I was in middle school. So I've lived here a really long time. I'm married, and I've been married for 3 years and been with my husband for going on 6 years. Some of you guys have asked me what do I do when I'm not doing my nails, I do have a job. I am a nanny for the cutest, most adorable little twin boys, and they're so much fun, and I love my job. I would not have any other job in the world. I've been working in childcare for a few years now, and I love it. I can't see myself really doing anything else. Okay, now I wanted to answer a few questions that you guys had asked me, or that I had been asked in the past, or just all types of things that I wanted to address with you. So, okay, the first question is, what is your most recommended brand of nail polish? That's kind of a tough question because it depends on what I'm using it for. Like, am I water marbling? Am I gradient? Is it a jelly? Whatever. So it kind of depends, but I will say this, my all-time favorite brand, and this is because of the gorgeous colors, the uniqueness of the polishes, customer service, believe it or not, is Loaded Lacquer. I absolutely love Loaded Lacquer. Heather, the creator of Loaded Lacquer, she is a nail polish genius. So if you have not discovered Loaded Lacquer yet, I'll put the link down here for you. Definitely check out her polishes. She's always coming up with just unique and such fun polishes, and I would say she's definitely my favorite indie brand, and probably my favorite brand overall. To answer one question that was asked to me is, do I do nails professionally or as a hobby? And the answer is I do it as a hobby. I've always been really into all things girly. When I was out of high school, right out of high school, I actually went to cosmetology school, and I got about 4 weeks from graduating and ended up dropping out because, well, when I was younger, and in my younger days, I was a little bit of a wild child and kind of rebellious, so I was prioritizing partying and doing other stupid things instead of school. So unfortunately, right before graduation, I decided that I wanted to quit. Worst decision I could have ever made, because I love doing hair. I was actually at the top of my class, really good at it. I love the nail tech side, the esthetician. I was working on that too. I still cut my friends' and family's hair and color them and stuff like that. So I've always been into beauty and things like that. I did go to school. I learned a lot about nails and nail care and how to do acrylics and all of that when I was in school. So I do have professional training, but I don't do acrylics or anything like that at all, and I pretty much just paint my own nails, and then sometimes my friends and family if they want it, but yeah, otherwise not professional. It's just a hobby and I love doing it. Okay, the next question that I was going to answer is, how long have you loved nails or done nails? So again, I got into nails and stuff, I started doing my friends' hair and nails and makeup when I was in high school for dances and stuff like that. And I'm 27 now, so that was, like a decade ago or more. So for a really long time. And then right out of high school, like I said, I went to cosmetology school and kind of got, I did the nail tech thing, esthetician, hair, I did all of that. So I've been into it for a really long time, but just this past year is when I really got into it, and mostly because my husband got a job transfer and we ended up moving about an hour and a half away from my family to a really small town where I didn't know anyone, and then I was kind of just bored, and so I just kind of just started doing it. I don't even know, like, I just sat down one day and started doing it and started posting it, and then I discovered this whole nail art world and community on Instagram, which was awesome. And now it's turned into this whole thing that is consuming my life pretty much. But I love it, and it's a really good hobby to have, and it keeps me busy, and it's a good outlet for a lot of things. And I'm stressed and feeling creative and a lot of different things. It relaxes me, and I just love it. Okay, the next question. What inspires your designs, and do you draw them before doing it on your nails? I get inspiration from a lot of other nail artists on Instagram, and if I have done a nail design that is a recreation of someone else's work, or inspiration, that I got inspiration from someone else's work, I absolutely always say that and mention them and tag them, because it's really important to give the original artist credit for the work. And recreations are a lot of fun to do. Everybody does them because that's where you get a lot of inspiration, is from seeing other people's nails and seeing what they can do, and giving you your own ideas, and they do something fun and you want to recreate it. That's cool. I've gotten ideas from checking out in the line at the grocery store and seeing a really cool lighter, and like it had a lighter that had a really cool design on it, and I went home and thought, oh, I could totally do that. That would be some awesome nails. Clothes, jewelry, nail art prompts. There's some every month put out by several different people on Instagram, where every couple of days it's like a category, and it's like, hey, here's your prompt, and you do whatever you want. Holidays, those give me a lot of inspiration. So it just kind of comes from everywhere. And to answer the question, do I paint them or draw them before I do them on my nails? Once in a while, if it's a new technique, or if it's something like that I think is going to be hard. I'm not a very good drawer. I'm not very artsy, I guess, if you want to call it that. So like a couple of weeks ago, I did some nails that had like a bird that I painted on it, and it was a really simple and really, I think, not that good. But that one I did practice first, just because when I'm doing something like that, I want to practice that first, because I'm not really very good at that kind of thing. If it's just like a gradient or flowers or something like that, no, those I don't do first. Those I just do right on the nail. What I will do though is if I'm going to do a new design, I will test it on just one nail first, like this idea that I have in my head, and I think, oh, this is going to look really good. I will test it on just one nail to make sure that what I'm seeing in my head actually looks like that on the nail. Sometimes I think that I have this awesome idea, and then I do a nail, or I do a whole hand, and I'm like, yeah, this does not look good at all. I'm not really sure what I was thinking. Okay, and then another question I had was, where do I get my tools from? And I get my tools from bornprettystore.com, and I'll put the link for that in the details section of this. And I also will put in there for you a discount code that I have for you guys for shopping there. And I always have that discount code in my Instagram profile. So if you ever want it, it's there. And then I'll also put that down there for you too. I get my dotting tools, stamping plates. I have gotten stamping plates from Amazon and other places too, so I have a few different brands of those. Detail brushes, the brushes I use to do cleanup, all of that stuff, that is where I get that. And then the other question that I have that I wanted to answer was, someone had asked me, what did I do to become so popular? And to be honest, like, I'm really not that popular. If you look at a lot of other nail artists out there, I am like nothing compared to them. So I guess for someone to think I'm popular, thank you. But when I started doing this, honestly, I didn't do it to get followers at all. I still don't do it to get followers. I don't really care about the number of followers I have. I love all of them. It's so great. when I started doing this, I didn't think that anyone would care about my nail art, let alone, you know, thousands of people. When I first got to 50, I was so excited, and then 100, and then I remember hitting 500, and you know, and then my 1,000, and now I just hit 5,000. And like I said, that in the scheme of nail artists out there in the nail community, very, very itty bitty. But to me, big accomplishment, big thing. So to answer the question of how did that happen, honestly, just using hashtags and sending in my videos to feature accounts via email who have email addresses, and they want you to send in their videos because they want to feature your stuff. And I've been featured a few times, and that's how it happens. Advertising yourself on someone else's page, everybody hates that. Like, that is not cute. Do not do that. Another question I had is, what am I using to paint around my cuticles around on the skin for cleanup for water marbles and gradients and things like that? Right now, what I am using, as you can see, it's almost empty because I use it all the time, is liquid Palisade, and I will put the website for you to get that down here. And I always say that again too, if I'm using it in a video, I will say that in the comment section. So I do always try to answer all your questions before you even ask them. So just make sure that you are reading those before you ask any questions, just because 9 times out of 10 I probably have answered it already. So before I discovered this, what I was using is just something that I made myself, and like a ton of people have different tutorials for how to do this on YouTube, on Instagram, and whatever. So it's just like Elmer's white school glue in an empty polish bottle that I had cleaned out, and just a few drops of water, shake it up, paint it around the nail, let it dry, same thing. It does not peel off as good as stuff that you can buy, but it does work better than doing nothing. Okay, now I want to tell you guys about some of my favorite polishes. I've gotten the question a lot, what are your favorite polishes or polishes you can't live without, stuff like that. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of those now. Like I said before, Loaded Lacquer, my favorite polish brand, so a lot of my can't live without polishes are from them. My favorite polish in my collection is this. It's from Loaded Lacquer. It's this glitter topper. And I love this. I don't know why. I'm obsessed with this. It's called Moonshine in a Jar, and it is my favorite polish in my collection by far. I try to use that glitter whenever I can. I love it. I don't know what I'm going to do when it runs out. I'll have to buy another one. Some of the polishes that I can't live without is Heather put out an awesome trio of nudes, and they're jelly. She called them Nude Jiggles, which I love that. And the first one is No Shirt, and it is your basic nude color, but this is like the perfect nude. I love it. And so it is another one that I can't live without. And then the next one from the Nude Jiggles that I love and is part of my can't live without polishes is the pale pink, and that's called No Bra, and I just love this. Pink is my favorite color, and this is my favorite pink in the collection. It goes with everything. Gray from the collection, and that one is called No Shoes. And I'm a sucker for gray polishes. It's probably my second favorite color besides pink to have on my nails. So I just love that one too. It's gorgeous. I use, your basic black and your basic white a lot, and the ones that I use for that, I go between 2 different white ones. Is Ulta Snow White. I use this as the base for water marbles. This is actually really good for water marbling, so I do use it for that too. And then the other one is Sinful Colors Snow Me White. So I use this one again as a base for gradients, water marbles, when I need a white polish, and then this one does water marble as well, so I use that for that too. And then I like to put glitter over everything. I like to use just very subtle glitter toppers, and so I do have a couple of those that I use all the time and that I'm always just going to have in stock. The first one would be Fairy Dust from China Glaze. I think every girl who paints their nails has probably heard of this. And if not, every girl needs it. You just have to. It's gorgeous. And it's one of those polishes too where it is good if you make just like a tiny little ding, or if there happens to be a little bubble, you can just throw a coat of this on and problem solved. The next one is a Holo topper. It's so holographic. It's gorgeous. This is from Dainty Digits Polish, and I love this thing. A coat or two of this, same thing as the fairy dust. It's just awesome. And so I love holo polishes, and so you can just holo everything. It's awesome. So then for basic black, I use pretty much one black just because I love this one. I do have a couple others that I use, but this one is my go-to, and that would be China Glaze Liquid Leather. So yeah, I like this one a lot. It water marbles good, gradient's good. It has a really good coating. It goes on smooth, so I use that one a lot. And then I use like Sally Hansen Black Heart and Julep Jet. Or would be the other two that I use, but I don't use those very often. So the other thing people ask is about my top coat, and I do always put full details for all the colors that I use in the captions and in the comments for Instagram and on my website, and also in the YouTube videos. So I do put all that there, but I still get asked sometimes like, oh, what top coat do you use, or what's this color? But the top coat that I use, and I will never go back to anything else because this stuff has just like changed my nail polish world, is HK Girl from Glisten and Glow. And it dries so incredibly fast. It doesn't smear any of my designs, and it's awesome to use like if I'm using nail vinyls and I use a coat of this over my base before I put a nail vinyl on. I know that it's going to dry fast. It's not going to peel up when I peel my nail vinyl off. It's not going to smear my design when I go over it. It's awesome. I love this stuff. I'll never ever go back to another top coat again. As far as base coat, honestly, I'm really bad at base coat. I ran out of base coat like a long time ago, and I had some top coats left over from before I discovered this stuff, and so I've actually been using those as a base coat, so not very good. But I change my nail polish every day, so it is what it is for that. Another one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys is what I do for nail care, and I do this routine like 2 or 3 times a week, depending on how much time I have and how bad my nails need it. And I have a video posted for my whole routine and what I do, so I'll just kind of show you the products again that I use. I've changed some of them since that video, so I'll probably make a new video sometime soon about my updated routine. But some of the products that I use I do use a whitening scrub, and my nails are still a little bit yellow. I do not use this whitening scrub as often as I should. If I was using it as often as I should, my nails would probably not be yellow. But you know what? There's nothing bad with your nails being yellow. It's not harming your nails in any way. It's just from painting your nails all the time, and there's no such thing as too much polish, so don't let anybody tell you that. So the whitening scrub that I do like is it's just a nail whitening scrub by Develop 10, and I get this at Ulta Beauty, and it comes with this little nail brush and everything, so you just scrub your nails. You're supposed to do it a few times a week. Like I said, I'm really bad at doing this step of my nail care routine, but when I do remember to do it, that's the one that I use. For my cuticles, I do not trim my cuticles at all because it's living tissue. You're not supposed to do that. You can get infections and cuts, and so I just don't. But what I do use is I use this by Sally Hansen, and it is a cuticle remover. Sally Hansen has a few cuticle removers. I just prefer this one because it smells better, and this one works really, really fast, really, really good. So I like this one. So I put it on like around my cuticles, let it sit for like anywhere from like a minute to, you can let it sit for up to 8 minutes, but I never have to do it that long because I do it so often, so I usually just let it sit for about a minute, and then I use a scraper and just push it back, and then like when you're done pushing it back, I just kind of take a paper towel and wipe it off, and it kind of just, that's it. It's like an eraser, it just, whoop, it's gone. So that's a lot better to do than just trimming it. If use is my nail oil, I use the Simply Pure nail oil pen, Bliss Kiss, and this is from nailcarehq.com. The stuff is amazing, and I have the winter scent, and it smells so good, and I love this stuff. I used to use some other cuticle oil before, and I mean, this stuff is so much better. It's amazing how much different it is, but this stuff is awesome. So if you don't have cuticle oil or you're looking for a good one, I would highly suggest checking this one out. A lot of times, or almost every time before pictures and before I go to bed and stuff like that, what I use is the Burt's Bees, this cuticle rub, and I love it. I actually use this brush to put it on instead of my fingers, then it doesn't get like my fingers don't get greasy, and I just brush some in here and then brush it around my cuticles. And I love this stuff. And I have really sensitive skin, so a lot of times lotion with like a lot of strong scents, I love how it smells, but it doesn't always love me. I can get like my hands, it'll actually make my hands break out. Soap does the same thing to me. It's really awesome. So after a lot of trial and error, I'm finding something that actually moisturizes really well, and for a long time, I discovered this, and I get this from Ulta, and I just get it in the regular scent, so there's nothing extra, but this stuff is amazing, and I use it on my hands. It's body butter, so you can use it everywhere, but mostly I just use it for my hands. And this stuff has saved me through the winter, especially here in Wisconsin, where it gets really, really cold, and so your skin dries out really bad. Between the nail care pen and this, yeah, I do really good. Well, thank you guys all for asking questions and for watching this, and I had a lot of fun doing this and answering your questions, and I hope that this helps you guys get to know me a little better. There were other questions that were asked, and I do have other plans to answer them, and I have some other things that I'm working on for you guys, and I just appreciate you guys so much. So thank you.